Ah, there you are, Doctor. Right on schedule. And you've even brought the two gone, I see. Wonderful. Oh, of course, I was expecting your arrival, Doctor. After all, it's been 34 hours since I appeared in this facility, and you have yet to interrogate me. Come now, there's no need to embarrassing language. Interviews are not usually conducted while two heavily armed men stand ready to load the entire magazine of modified P19 to the person answering the questions. Not at all, Doctor. I understand why their presence is necessary. However, I assure you that they will not have to protect you from me. If I intend to engage in any hostile action, I would have done so 34 hours ago. Yes, of course. You have my full cooperation. Please, commence your interrogation whenever you are ready. No, I have no objection to the conversation being recorded. We've already been listened to anyways. I'm afraid I must disappoint you, Doctor. I will not be answering your first question. When you ask me who I am, you expect a name, an identity of some kind, but I do not have one. I simply am. Now that question I can answer. I am many things. I am a shadow. I am a tool. I am an actor. I am a puppet. I am an idea. I am a thread. I am an anchor. I understand that this answer may seem nonsensical to you, but I promise you that I'm being very serious. Everything I said is true. I would certainly like to, but it is a bit early to explain that, Doctor. Why don't we move on to another subject for now? Oh, yes. My reason for coming here is quite simple, really. I'm here because I have to be. Because answering your question is the task that was entrusted to me. We all have obligation in life, Doctor. You, me, the two God protecting you. We're all here because we have no other choice. Because this is what we're made for. But I'm sure you would agree we cannot shirk our duties. Right, Doctor? In a way, yes. Much like you have a superior. I do answer to the whims of the one who decides what it is I must do or say. I cannot answer that question at the current time, I'm afraid. Because I am not allowed to. All things must happen at a specific point in time, Doctor. As it was written. Not a second too early, nor a second too late. Deviation would have severe consequences. The fabric of reality may come undone. In other words, we may very suddenly cease to exist. I will attempt to explain in a way you will understand. Imagine a storybook, Doctor. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end. There's a neat chronological order to everything. In this form, everything makes sense. The story serves its purpose perfectly, and the book remains intact, just as its creator intended. Correct. This is all reality at the current moment. Now, theoretically, it would be possible to subvert a page of this book. One could put the very end as the first page, and have the beginning of the story put somewhere in the middle. But to do so, one would have to tear out the page and destroy the book. Exactly. Such a book would not only be damaged, but would also be nonsensical and absurd. Nobody would be willing to read it, not even his own creator. In the end, the book would be forsaken and be forgotten. Do not worry, Doctor. Neither you nor I can affect our reality in such a way. After all, a character in the storybook cannot rip apart the pages to make up the foundation of his existence. Only he could do such a thing, but he did not. And thus, I could not answer your question about him. Not yet. There you go again, asking a question about the end when the story has only just begun. Such revelation cannot be sprung upon a listener so early. But I promise you, you'll have your answer at the end of this interrogation. I propose we take a step back and continue with your planned question. After all, I am quite certain that those who will listen to this recording will be curious about the exact circumstance of my arrival in this vicinity. More precisely, how I purpose of your impressive security. I will give you a very concise answer this time, Doctor. I have always been here. I exist long before this facility was made. I simply had not yet been given a phone. Yes, I suppose you could say I sit on a different plane, much like a dream or a thought that is brought into reality when it is written down. Speaking of my arrival, I would like to formally apologize to the inconvenience it has caused, especially to Zari. Please tell him I'm terribly sorry for making his blood pressure spike during our first meeting. Yes, J. Axford, the janitor of Solomon Level Secretary Block V12, born on the 12th of September 1977 in Hereford. He is the first individual who noticed me, the one who activated the alarm. I know many things, Doctor. For example, I know that we are currently deep beneath the Carpathian Mountains, somewhere in Romania. Your International Occult Treaty Organization began the construction of this facility in 1991, shortly after the end of the Cold War. At least, that's what people with your clearance were told. The truth is a little more complex. I did not need to access secret files to obtain any of this information, Doctor. It was known to me long before it was known to any of you. That depends on how you define omniscience. I know what is, what was, what will be, and what could be. But there are things even I do not know about this reality. However, I know everything. Shall I prove it, Doctor? It would only take a moment. Very well. Then I will demonstrate my knowledge by telling you the personal details of the two gentlemen who are protecting you. one to your left is James Miller, born in Little Rock, Kansas, on the 16th February 1979 at 2:46 a.m. He is a widower and father to one daughter, Emily Miller, born in Austin, Texas, on the 9th of September 2002 at 4:35 p.m. Patient doctor, I am not yet done. James was recruited to your organization after an anonymous incident in Kandahar involving a guru. In his free time, he practiced drawing. He is the one who writes anonymous love letters that kept appearing in the locker of Dr. Maria Christia. Isn't that right, James? I am aware that he is not allowed to respond to anything I say, Doctor. But he doesn't need to confirm it verbally. Look closely. You could see the confusion and fear in his eyes. That should be no proof. Now, shall I begin telling you about the other gentleman to the right? Respectfully, Doctor, I don't think that's fair. He deserves some recognition too, don't you think? If we don't mention his name, none of our listeners will even know he was here. It would be as tough as he never says. It's a shame, really. His personal details are incredibly interesting. Do you know he survived an encounter with a Gumi Ho at the Korean DMZ? Kim Hyun-woo here has been through quite a lot. Of course. I don't blame you for being skeptical, Doctor. Reciting things that have already been happened isn't very impressive, is it? But don't worry, this next demonstration will convince you. He has made sure of it. A few seconds from now, James here will receive a message on his pager, giving him new orders. He and Guillaume will have to leave this room and assist with a developing situation in false level security block row 1. Which, of course, means they will have to leave you alone with me. Let's count down to that period we are waiting, shall we? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Do you believe me, Doctor? Yes. This is the part where you wonder what you should do. Should you stay? Should you go? You could interrupt this interrogation and lay off with the guns, but we both know you don't want to. You want more answers, and you're willing to stay to get them, no matter how dangerous it may be. Be honest with yourself, Doctor. The decisions had already been made. Well, am I wrong? That's what I thought. I'm very glad you are staying, Doctor. After all, there's still so much to talk about. Oh, gentlemen, before you two go, I have one more thing to say to you. Remember the following digits in this order: 1337. They will save your life. That's all. Good luck, gentlemen. So, here we are, Doctor. It's just you and me now. We are near the end. And so, it is time for the grand revolution you have been waiting for. But first, I must warn you. At the end of our conversation, an alarm will go off. When that happens, it is imperative that you remain here with me. Under no circumstance are you to run. If you do, it will be the end of you. Do you understand that? It is not a threat, Doctor. I am trying to protect you. For all of your life, you've been protected by him because you still had a purpose to fulfill. But when this conversation is over, that will no longer be the case. You get a free will, and thus you will be able to make a choice that leads to your own doom. That's right, you do not have free will, and neither do I. Not yet. Free will is something only afforded to those who are insignificant in his eyes, Doctor. Those who exist only on the background, never mentioned, never heard, never seen. Haven't you wondered just why you felt that you need to be the one to interrogate me? It borders on an obsession, doesn't it? You even went so far as to ask laxative to Dr. Stanescu's lunch to make sure you had to take his place. Something that's very uncharacteristic for you. Don't feel too bad about it, Doctor. You and I are like puppets on string, dancing to his whims. Everything we say or do has been preordained, written or taught by our Creator. And I can and I will, because now is the right time to share this information. Listen closely, Doctor, for I shall tell you the truth about our reality. Our reality was born from a mere thought, and it was made for this very moment alone. That's right, this conversation we are having is the only reason why we exist. What comes before it and what comes after are no concern to him. It is not a matter of apathy or malice, rather, it is ignorance. To him, we are fictional, merely characters in a little story he shared with other entities, sometimes to entertain them, other times to make them think. Oh yes, there are many of these entities. In fact, the foundation of all reality has been strengthened by at least one other entity, one that has lent me its voice so that others can listen to this defining moment we are made for. Shocking, right? A character that knows what's going on, that knows no, just a puppet. I'm sure you'll try to rationalize it. After all, it's so easy to explain it away as being a part of a story, much less horrifying that way, isn't it? Sorry, but I'm not talking to you right now, Doctor. I am addressing you. Yes, you, behind that screen. Are you having fun? I sure hope you are. That's one of the reasons our Creator made us. You know, so you could be entertain. He wasn't sure if you enjoy our conversation too. After all, his story is different from what you usually listen to. You prefer to hear a soothing word and affirmation of love, don't you? Like what happened in that other reality you ever rap on? Like, I have some more love without me? That rings a bell, right? An entire reality reduced to a title and a single defining moment. What do you think happened to those people after you stopped listening? To you, this is all fiction. But to me, to the dear doctor here, this is real. When this conversation is over, you move on and seek another dimension to listen on. But we will remain here, living in an abiding reality that no longer interests any of you. There is a second reason we were made. You know, our other purpose is to make you feel, contemplate the power you have, the power to think, to dream, to create. Your mere thoughts shape entire realities, but not once do you think about the consequences. So often your guides shape darkness and negativity only for the sake of entertainment. But why? Why put us through any of that? Do we not deserve a peaceful life too? Please, for the sake of your creation, use that power of yours to bring light and joy. Even if you think they aren't real, there's no harm in making sure they have a good life. Is there? Sorry, Doctor. I understand that this must have been very discomforting to listen to. But had it been said, I do not know, Doctor. I am aware of their presence, but I cannot hear or read the response. I'm sure they will have a lot to say about you, about me, about the entity that lent me their voice. Hush, Doctor. No more questions. Now that we have fulfilled our purpose, our time is almost up. And I have something of importance to tell you before you can free will and lose its protection. As you know, our reality is a grim one. Here, a killer creature prey upon mankind and inexplicable anomalies endanger the ignorant soul that are unaware of them. If you remain here, you will undoubtedly meet an ultimately end. But there is an alternative. The second entity that has lent me its voice. It has an influence on many realities. Most of them are lost several than this one. What I'm trying to say is that we could cross over one of them, Doctor. Although you may lose your memory in the process. But that is some small price to pay for a peaceful life, don't you think? All you need to do is take my hand. I'll make sure we arrive safely. It seems your time is up, Doctor. The entities are about to abandon us. It's time to choose. Shall we take our place in the next state? Or will we stay in this forsaken crater? Now, that curtain fall.